Hi, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com.
Today, I'll show how to crochet the granny square fluted edging. This works along the edge of granny square blankets, scarves, shawls, pretty much anything where a little bit of border is needed. Instead of the typical chain 3, I'm starting off with a modified double crochet stitch, which starts out with a slip knot on my crochet hook, and then along one of the edges of the granny square, I make a single crochet stitch, followed by another single crochet stitch along the side of it. Then I make a chain 2, followed by a double crochet stitch in the same space. Going forward, this double crochet, chain 2, double crochet all in the same space will be known as a V-stitch. I then move over into my next granny square space, and in it I repeat this V-stitch pattern, starting off with a double crochet stitch, followed by a chain 2, and following that with a double crochet stitch, all in the same space. And I repeat this again in the very next space. This V-stitch pattern will be used along all of the granny square side spaces. In a minute, I'll show how to do the corner stitches, which follow a similar yet different pattern. And here's my first finished granny square side with the V-stitches in all the spaces. Next up is the corner. In this corner, I'll make a double crochet stitch and then follow that with a chain 2 and then another double crochet stitch, and immediately follow that with a chain 2 and then another double crochet stitch, followed immediately by another chain 2 and finally another double crochet stitch, all in that corner space of the granny square. So what I have here are 3 V-stitches all melded together, 4 double crochet stitches with 3 spaces in between. Onto the second side of the granny square, which consists of the regular V-stitch pattern that was on the first side of a double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet, all in the same space. At the end, slip stitch to the top of the first V-stitch. And here's what my granny square fluted edging looks like for its first round. The second round is next and consists of double crochet stitches. To start the second round, chain 2. Then around the first side of the V-stitch, I'm making a front post double crochet stitch. And then inside of the chain 2 space, I'm making 3 double crochet stitches all in that same space. Now, while I'm crocheting 3 double crochet stitches in this space, feel free to alter this number and put maybe 4 stitches in to make it even more fluted, or less in, like 2, to make it not so rounded. And finally, I finish this with another front post double crochet stitch along the other side of the V-stitch. And that's my first fluted edging. I'm moving on to the next V-stitch and making a front post double crochet stitch around it. And then inside of the previous chain 2 space of the V-stitch, I'm making 3 double crochet stitches all in that space. And again, feel free to alter the number if it works better. And finally, I'm making a front post double crochet stitch around the second part of the previous V-stitch. And here is what my fluted edging looks like thus far. Continue with this pattern along just the side of the granny square for now. Once all of the fluted edges are made along the side of the granny square, it's time to make the corner stitches. The corner stitch starts out with a front post double crochet around the first part of the V-stitch. And then, as before, make 3 double crochet stitches all in that previous chain 2 space. And then make a front post double crochet around the second part of the V-stitch. Then just go right into the second space. No need to make yet another front post stitch. So in this case, I'm moving on to the space and inside of it making 3 double crochet stitches all in that same space. And once that is completed, I just make a front post double crochet stitch around the next part of the V-stitch. And once that is completed, I then place 3 double crochet stitches all in the previous chain 2 space of the previous V-stitch. And finally, once those are done, I'm making 1 more front post double crochet stitch around the last part of the previous V-stitch. So the corners are similar to what the sides are, except the V-stitches only have 1 front post double crochet stitch in between them. Then use the side pattern for the second side of the granny square. Continue around the granny square using the corner pattern for the corners and the side pattern for the sides, then slip stitch to close the round. And here's what my granny square edging looks like once completed. And that's it. That's how I crocheted the fluted edging for a granny square.